welcome to Chick Chat. Casey. All right. Hey, welcome. If you've joined us, say hello. We're dancing in on a Tuesday night. Gonna dance in, right? Got my disco ball up here, dancing in. We have some interesting topics this evening, and we will talk all about it in just a moment, and we'll be right back. Hey, and we're back.
We're back.
Right. We're back. Hey, if you've joined us, say hello and tell us where you joined us from. So, Heather, how was your week? How have you been?
Girl, I am all moved out of my house.
Yay.
And the last day that I moved, I fell and hurt my ankle. And so it's been icing and all that for the whole weekend. I didn't stay down the whole time, of course, because that's not possible. But, so it was a pretty laid back weekend.
Well, Happy New Year. So cheers to you. Chink. Oh, I can't say that.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers. Hey, I know Teresa, she messaged me earlier. She's not able to comment on some things. So if you're out there, Teresa, hello. We welcome to Chick Chat this evening. Facebook does funky things, So our topics tonight are, we're going to talk about yours first. So let's go ahead and tell them the title of it and what it's about.
Okay. Well, first of all, let's back up a little bit. How was your weekend?
Oh, it was busy. I had a Christmas party, believe it or not, on Friday night. I know. Huh? And so I was like wearing Christmas and New Year's at the same time, like red and like glitter. So it was like both combined. It was kind of funny. It was a lot of fun. And then just kind of went to an art museum. It was busy.
All right.
Never stop.
Well, I said it's that time of year. We'll have a little bit of a downtime for the next couple months, and then the weather will get nice, and we'll be out and about. So
I know.
Before we get into our topic, I did want to talk about anyone that's watching that, wants to invest in themselves. There's a conference coming up, Becoming the Best You conference in St. Louis in February. So go on to comechangeyourlife.com. Look at the information. It's going to be life-changing for real. I did this conference last February, and from the difference from then to now, it's unrecognizable. And so I really recommend it to anyone that can go.
That's awesome. My hometown in the Lou.
Yeah, come
show. I might be able to stop by. We'll see.
Well, we're hoping to get you at least one night. Or day, whichever works out. But
because I'll be driving through.
Yeah. So the topic that I picked was who made you judge and jury? Who made you jury? Whatever.
Who made you jury? I know that was pretty strong. I was like, "Ooh, where are we going?"
So let me get on my soapbox for just a minute and just. So we were out Sunday. We went to Trader Joe's, and the parking lot was crazy. And it was like there was somebody trying to pull out of the parking lot, and they got in their car, and the lady in front of us was waiting for that spot. And while she was waiting, the person in the car, I don't know if they got in, checked their makeup, checked their phone, whatever they were doing, but it took a while for the person to get out of their spot. So there's a line creating in the parking lot, waiting for this woman to get that spot so we can all move on. So Jim and I are sitting there talking about, my goodness, really, blah, blah, blah. And I said, oh, this looks like a good time to work on my patience. And that was kind of as far as we went with it. All of a sudden we look over and there's a woman out of her car filming the line, yelling about how it's, look at her taking up all this time and all this space and blah 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 blah. And I just looked at him, really? Like,
Wow.
I'm trying to understand, and I know this stuff happens often. I've seen, in various forms, but what makes a person let something so insignificant ruin their whole day? Number one, and number two, why do you feel the need to get out and record it and post it all over? I'm assuming all over social media. Like, what do you gain from that? Did that make her feel better? Like,
Well, yeah. I mean, so what did the lady, I'm just curious. Okay, so tell me the detail. Like in the lady in the car that was sitting there that was going to move out, did she notice the
I
lady?
think she was oblivious because the lady,
Oh, okay.
imagine it, of course, never got close enough that the woman she was filming was actually able to see her. she was she was even with our truck, the driver's side, but
Uh-huh.
not far enough that the woman in front of us could see her. And
Oh.
then she would film from our truck car, which had a particular local high school, and a kid's name and number on it, uniform number, which is just great. You posted that all over, social
Oh,
media.
no. Yeah.
But it's just like, it kind of led me into it. We kind of went into a discussion about, like, number one, why do you get so upset about something so silly? And number two, what has become of our society that everyone thinks they're the jury for everything that happens in the world?
Wow.
You don't raise your kids right. You don't dress right. You don't have, oh my God, I can't believe she did that. Look, and I hate to use the word because I feel sorry for people named Karen, but why do we have so many Karens in the world?
Yeah.
What what's the reasoning? What are your thoughts on the reason? Are those people just so miserable that they have to?
Well, I think there are a couple things, and I think it kind of blends into my subject matter, which is unmet expectations. And
Yeah,
so what's happening in the world right now is we don't have a stability. Like ever since COVID, there has been an unstableness in our normal or our structure or our routines got really messed up. And so it's just like up in the air, got messed up. And so I think, and this is my opinion, is that people are very frustrated about a lot of different things that they can't control. And that's where unmet expectations come in the first place. So it does blend together. I think that everybody is upset about things that they can't control. And since that lady wasn't moving fast enough for that other lady, she couldn't control it. So she figured she would take something into her own hands, which is by, you know, expressing her, her frustration over it. So I think we have gotten to a place where even on social media, anybody feels like they can have an audience to say whatever they're frustrated about or give their opinion on something that you say. Or we've just opened the door to all of that. There's no more diplomacy out there. I think our diplomacy has just gone out the window. Like certain people have certain morals and values and a structure, and then some people are just, I mean, they since they don't know where they stand with themselves, and they don't know where they stand within the constructs of our community anymore. I think that's what's happened. I think it's just opened this door to just like carte blanche. We just do what we feel in the moment. Like there's no temperance. There's no filter. Like everybody thinks, well, this is affecting me. I mean, people have
yeah.
become really selfish. They become very selfish. And
Well,
and mm,
do you think that it's also because it tends to be the people that I know that are kind of like this? It tends to be people who they're not happy with their own life, so they
right.
need to go out and stir up stuff with other people's instead of it's like
Well, you do,
I
if you point the finger at other people, like they say, you got three, pointing back at you, and what
yeah,
it is, you don't want to deal with your own stuff. Like you're not wanting to deal. Like that lady must have haven't. Maybe she had a horrid day. The lady filming, I'm saying, and she just had enough. like, oh, this lady's just taking too long. I just can't deal with it anymore. So she took it in her own hands to like do something, like, which is ridiculous. You and I can agree that that's ridiculous, to tape somebody just because they're sitting in a parking spot.
Yeah.
Like, however, the lady, that was in the car, she doesn't know that people, was she even aware that she was causing a traffic jam? I mean,
I'm not sure. I mean, I don't know. I mean, again, and as soon as that one backed out, that we had the same situation with the next one because it was just, it's one of those situations where there was no spots open. So it's like, I better wait for this one because there may not be any others and someone else is going to get it. And, it was just crazy, but to me, it just blew my mind that, and I see it often. And I think it's just, I've seen it too much lately, especially with the holidays and
yeah,
people just
I think people are very impatient. They're very impatient. Hi, Matt. Glad you're joining us.
Hey, Matt.
I think that people, it comes back to that selfishness. Like people don't have a filter anymore. They think I am allowed to do this. I mean, if you've driven in the last 6 months, I know I've seen a difference in driving. People are driving on the slow lane, fast as could be, middle lane, fast as could be. It doesn't matter anymore. The lanes don't matter anymore. Like, it doesn't matter what lane you're in because there's somebody else that's going to be upset with you. In fact, I almost got in an accident on Sunday, same day. I was driving back and this guy I was in the middle lane and the fast lane was over here. And the guy in the fast lane was like 2 car lengths ahead of me. Okay. And then the car on the slow lane was probably a little bit maybe even with me. So the guy behind me is angry because he wants me to go faster. Though he didn't get behind the guy in the fast lane, he got behind me and starts like riding, my tail like this far away, not kidding. So I slow down because I'm like, no, you don't, you're not forcing me to go faster just because you want to go faster behind me. And so he gets mad at me and he tries to get even closer to my car, almost to hit me. And I'm not, and he wanted to. And then all of a sudden the car over here to the right, like he gets over, he gets past me and he almost runs into my front end. He like flies over into the front of me just because he was mad that I didn't go the speed he wanted me to go. And it's similar to this situation. I it didn't rattle me or anything, but I was like, wow, why? Like, what?
Right.
Where are you going that you have to go that fast and you have to be that rude, in your car? Because a car is like it can hurt people. Like, your car is a weapon if it can be used as a weapon, right? And so, it's not safe for you to drive like that. And so, I mean, that's the thing. Lead, follow, or get out of my way. Exactly. I mean,
so do you think it has anything to do with the instant gratification of all of us that our minds can't be quiet for 5 seconds?
I think that's it. And I think that people are really, they're getting very selfish. They're just selfish. They're not, they don't think of others. I mean, they're not thinking of others, obviously.
Right.
I mean, you're fighting over parking spots, it's like, I mean, it is irritating
Right.
to drive
Filming.
and not find one, but at the same time, go at another time. If you know it's going to be that busy and that crowded, you need to schedule your time out a little bit better,
Yeah.
and that's the thing is like, maybe that time of the day is not the greatest time to go to, Trader Joe's, maybe another time,
Well, I
or
think it was just a matter of the fact that she felt the need to record it that made me like, yeah, get upset, get irritated, whatever. But
well, right. And
like,
what are the people going to
really?
do? And the
Right.
thing is she was making herself look bad. She wasn't really making the other lady look bad. She was actually focusing in that she was not a very patient person and she was kind of a rude person,
Yeah, because that mom is kind of looking at her like,
what are you,
what are you
what
doing?
are you
Like,
doing? Right. Why? I mean, people are just, and I really feel like coming out of being locked down, that has a lot to do with it psychologically. Like, suffered more anxiety and because we didn't know the future because of the fear of unknown. It was out of fear. So I feel like that's still left over. I feel like, right now, of course, they're talking about, long COVID, having the virus in too long. But I think the after effects of us being locked down is still there. Because now you're like, okay, what's next? What's going to happen next?
To me, it's just like, it's so long ago. Like, I'm so over it.
Well, right. But other people are still in a different mindset, depending on if they have their phone. If they're watching the news all the time,
And that could be the difference. I don't watch the news.
right. If they're watching the news, they're going to be hyped,
It sounds like
people who
that is
make
not the people we're talking about.
Matt, would you record that lady that was taking too long out of her parking spot? Just curious. People who make me wait are playing a dangerous game. Well, see, I mean, the thing is if there's a whole line of people, it was like you guys were next in line, so it wasn't like that lady was going to get the spot, right?
She couldn't get out of her parking spot. We were blocking her. The line was blocking her from getting out of her parking spot, which is why I guess she was upset. But it's like,
okay,
none of us are moving. So should we all get out and start recording? Should we all get out and start a fight? Like, what really do you want to do here? Because what do you feel like you're accomplishing getting all upset? And I don't know. I feel like she was a person. She wasn't moving super fast in the store, so it's like, should I record the fact that you were causing a line because you couldn't move very fast to the store? Like, I don't know.
it has to do with emotional maturity too. I mean, maybe she wasn't very emotionally mature. I mean, patience is something that has to be worked at and learned. I mean, you can't. We come out of the womb wanting what we want when we want it. Like we're babies and we're like, wow, we want our diaper change, we want food, all of those things. We have to learn that patience later, as we mature. And some people don't. Some people don't learn that. Some people actually stay there, especially if they're coddled, if they're coddled by their parent, and that's it. Yeah. Yeah, Matt, I want what I want when I want it. That's right. And I mean, look at what Amazon does. Like, I wanted a book yesterday and I got it today.
I wanted a plant shelf yesterday. I'm getting it tomorrow.
Right. So, I mean, look at what has happened. Not only has technology advanced when we're going to get things, we can now get our food delivered to our door. I mean, come on. My dog's middle name is Veruca Salt. Veruca from Willy Wonka. That's funny. That is hilarious. Yeah, my dog wants stuff now. Exactly. I mean, she taught us, like, we used to look at that and think that was bratty, but people now just have an expectation that that's the way people are. Like now they don't even look badly on them. They just are like, oh yeah, they're just, impatient, versus that's not acceptable. Because what's become acceptable is that we get everything instantaneous and like that, and that does go on into my subject matter of the unmet expectations. We have expectations now. I mean, I can't believe it. We can get anything delivered to our door right now. Anything. You name it, we can get it. It used to be the delivery was pizza, flowers, and our mail, right? That was about it. Now we can get anything delivered to our door. Yeah. Anything we want. And if we have the money to do it. And so, it's just crazy. I want stuff shipped to me before I know I want it.
Yeah, I think
well, Matt, that will go along with Elon's chip in your brain. I think that can happen. I just think so. What's sad is that's the truth. The truth is, no longer, we ain't even going to have to hit a button. You're just going to think, hey, I think I want that thing from Amazon, and then it's shipped to your door.
Well, they better hope there's money in the bank then.
Oh, brother. Can you imagine? I mean, that's going to be crazy. And that's going to happen. I mean, it's going to happen. I mean, no doubt about it. You know, I'm not going to be signing up myself, but you know, if y'all want that, you have fun. If you want to be a cyborg, go ahead. It's all like you know, oh yeah. Robot overlord masters. Exactly. Yep. Exactly. Matt. Yep. Matt's all into it. I bet you know. So cheers to that. I'm not going to become a human cyborg.
No,
Not
that's
doing it.
not on the topics to
Not
discuss.
me. I don't need things that badly. In fact, I think being patient and waiting for something. Remember how we used to save up to buy something at the store?
I don't know who you're talking to. I've never saved anything in my life.
What?
No,
You didn't have to save your money to like buy something?
No, I said, Mom, I need a credit card.
See? Well, we have a different paradigm.
Yes, we've had this conversation.
Yeah, I mean, I did have credit card parents too that would do that, but I used to have to take the bus to the mall and then buy. If I had the cash on me, I would buy it. If I didn't have the cash, I didn't get it. You know, that's just the way that went. So,
yeah,
you know, I don't know. I think that people need to be really careful. I think that we are becoming such a selfish society and in all for self or all for just the people that we love or you know, it's you know, or I mean there's others of us that think the other way, you know, that we want to give and we want to help and we want to serve, you know, and you just have to figure out which category you want to be in. Hey, good evening, Lester. Nice for you to join us. So, yeah, I think you're just seeing the side effect of our society. You know, and to think that it mattered to somebody on her social media. Like, why does that matter to somebody on your social media?
Or does it? Or is she just one of those people that everyone goes, why is she posting that? I don't know.
Right. They're probably going, wow, she's not very nice. You know, like that's not cool, you know. Like just because the lady's like taking a minute. What you can't go. Okay, so here comes the question. Can you is there a time limit from the time you leave the store and you get in your car that you have to pull your car out? I mean, has there been a limitation set that we just don't know about now?
Apparently.
Like 5 minutes. You got 5 minutes. You get in that car and you back out.
Well, then you're going to have to set a size time or a size limit because it was us, which is a big truck, and then another big truck. Well, you can't just park anywhere. So that was probably making her mad too because, you know, these big trucks are in the way.
Ah! I mean, well, so my thing to her would be, you need to pick a different time to go to the store.
Or move to small town where there's no
you need to pick a different time.
Yeah.
You know, people are just impatient. So it comes back to that adage. Like I had a pastor, one time I was speeding to get to church on time and I almost got pulled over by the police. And then there was a car in front of me and it was going slow. And I'm like, oh, come on. You know, we pull into the parking lot. It was the pastor. It was my pastor in front of me. How do you think I felt when I saw my pastor get out of the car? I was not feeling that. I was like, oh, that is so embarrassing. Like I was so embarrassed.
When you leave church and then everyone's trying to get out of the parking lot and nobody lets you in. It's like, did we not just leave the house of the Lord where you're supposed to be kind to people? You won't even let me out.
Why isn't teleportation a thing? Anything to make people drive. You know, I know, I'm kind of mad. The Jetsons made an expectation for all of us to have the flying cars at this point. Because remember, it was this time period that we were supposed to have the flying cars. I have an unmet expectation here.
Okay, well, we're also supposed to have Rosie, and she's not here either. So
I know. Well, no, she's coming. Well, Rosie doesn't look like that. Rosie looks like you and I. That's what's scary. Rosie looks like a human.
Hey,
Rosie talks like a human.
If she does the dishes and cleans the house, I don't care. I don't care what she
I
looks
don't think I want a robot thing in my house cleaning my house. I don't think so. I
like.
mean,
I
can
mean,
you imagine? Okay, so of course I always take this one step further,
I
don't
know.
I? So
Even a matter of hair.
we are. You know, can you imagine like you have the cleaning robot and you I don't know, do you put it in the closet? Like if it looks like a person, do you like just stick it in the closet? I mean, is that what it
Well,
does?
the reality is
Do
it
you
doesn't
give it
matter.
a bedroom? I don't know. What are the rules on it?
I don't know, but Jim's never going to let a robot be in this house, so it doesn't really matter.
What?
I don't think he's thrilled there's an Alexa in my house. So
Oh,
there's never going to be a robot here.
that's all right. Jetsons had a machine that would instantly put your make. See, the
Now
Jetsons,
that.
the Jetsons made us have an unrealistic expectation of the future.
Yeah, but
They
what would your
really did.
makeup look like? Would it look good or would it look like that chick from Drew Carey's show? Mimi.
I think you get to pick your own prototype of the cyborg that you want, maybe. I don't know. But do you give okay, my question is, do you give it a bedroom or do you put it in a closet?
Closet.
Really? I would
Yeah.
feel bad. Poor
It's a
thing.
robot. Okay, we are way off topic. We are way off topic talking about robots in the closet. Matt, stop encouraging her.
Yes, Matt. Keep encouraging me. You know the
Next week,
deal. Hey. Sometimes
about
we have to have fun
aliens.
on it. Yeah, I mean, it goes along with my aliens. Of course it does. But but so yeah, but can you imagine like okay, you stick your robot in the closet or it has its own bedroom, whichever one. And then you wake up in the middle of the night and it's standing over you looking at you. That'd be freaky. Anyway.
It's freaky that there's somebody in my living room and I don't know who it is.
Oh, okay.
It's Jim's talking to someone, but I don't know who's here.
Oh, well, all right. They'll
Anyway,
introduce themselves. They're probably your new cyborg maid.
mhm,
Maybe he's interviewing them right now.
I'm gonna guess it's his son. But anyway, okay. So let's go into your topic.
Okay. So, unmet expectations. So, I want to know over Christmas, how many of you out there that are watching right now had an unmet expectation happen? Like you had oh let's if it's only if the robot is self-aware. Oh, yeah. Mhm. That's a
Anyway,
whole nother ball game.
no.
But okay, so let me ask you, Heather, over the holidays, did you have anything be an unmet expectation?
You know what? This year I don't think so. I
Now,
don't think.
why do you think that is?
Um, I didn't have a lot of expectations. Number one,
Okay.
because there's a lot of new stuff happening, and I really didn't know how things were going to play out. So I didn't have a lot of expectations anyway.
Okay.
Um,
You're making two good points already. Okay.
I think for the first time, the issues that I have with the holiday season, my partner also has the same issues. So it was really easy. I didn't, there was no, like everything I needed, he already knew I needed, and I knew he needed. So that was that. Meaning, like, you know what I'm talking about, people not being here for the holidays.
Right. Right.
But I just
That's
think, I can't, I don't think there was anything that I expected that wasn't met.
okay.
I think my expectations were met and then some.
Okay. Well, that's a good thing. And you hit the nail on the head when you said you didn't have any
Right.
expectations. That's the key is not having them. Even on yourself, Matt, when he wanted to spend less money and that didn't pan out, well, yeah, I bought all the things. Well, did that make you happy though, Matt? Is the question. I mean, you might have spent more money, but was it because you were giving and it made you happy? I mean, that's a different kind of expectation, Um, I expected certain things to happen in a certain time period and it kind of didn't happen. And I really had to consciously decide one, I knew that I couldn't control it. Two, that, you know, oh well. Like I had to let it go. I had to just go, I'm letting this expectation of what I think the holidays should be go. Because obviously going forward in my life, it's never going to be the way it ever was before. You know, my holidays don't look the same. My holidays aren't the same. But at the same time, there were much more new fun things like you're talking about. I now have a little toddler. First Christmas, she understood Christmas, and it was the cutest. It was like the best. And there was no expectation. She was just adorable about it. And see, he said, yes, very happy with things, not happy with the debt. Hope things. So there's that. There you go. I mean, but you were happy with what you did. Yeah, I'm not happy with debt. I mean, none of us are happy with debt. but but the expectation that I had was it was contingent on other people's schedules and on other people. And so my expectation was that we would do this thing, that thing, and get together. And then when that fell through and it didn't happen, I was disappointed. And I was disappointed because it didn't happen. I wasn't disappointed because I expected it to happen. Does that make sense? Like I didn't put the whole 100% expectation on it because I thought it might fall through. Like when you are thinking about variables with other people and scheduling, you have to be really loose with that. That's just one of the things that you have to go, I can't control another person's schedule. I can't control their decision making. You can't. You can put it out there and say, okay, dinner's going to be at 5. I hope that you show up at 5 because we're going to start eating at 5. You know what I mean? I mean, you can put that out there and hope that those people respect your boundary in that and respect, what you want to happen. However, if at the last minute something happens in their household and they can't make it, you can be a little disappointed that they didn't come, but you can't be upset with them that they didn't come. And I think that's what happens in families all the time is people have an expectation. Well, they're supposed to be here. Are they supposed to be there? I mean, something happened in their household,
Yeah.
where's the leniency of grace there? What if something happened to you and you couldn't make it to something that was a family, get together at last minute? You have to have the same grace for people, that you would expect them to have for you.
But here's the thing that I would say on that. There's a couple of words that I've removed from my vocabulary, and it's made a huge difference. Should and shouldn't. Supposed to, like all of those are expectations that you're putting on other people. They're not boundaries necessarily. They're because there is no should or shouldn't. There's no right. There's no wrong. It just is. And I think if you take that into consideration, it changes your whole mindset. Now, I did have one thing that was an expectation that wasn't met, and I thought I was going to see my dad, and that didn't happen. Haven't talked to my dad in quite a while, and we were going to be in town this past weekend in Tulsa. We ended up not going, but I texted my dad, asked him if he wanted to meet us for lunch, and he said absolutely. And then as time got closer, he came up with something so it wouldn't happen. My expectation was that even though in the back of my mind I knew that was going to happen, my expectation was that it would play out.
Right.
So then when it didn't, I was disappointed.
You were disappointed. Right.
So I always tell my girls with, certain people in their life, if you just don't have any expectations, you can't be disappointed. But that's really hard to do.
It is. It is. And did you give yourself grace that your feelings were hurt? Did you give yourself that moment to go, yeah, my feelings are hurt on this. I'm disappointed.
I gave myself the whole evening. Yeah. To just go through the process of the feelings of, again, being, rejected by my dad, and again, like how I felt, and, talking to my girls because I knew they were feeling that way, and just the whole process. But then the next day it was like, okay, well, it is what it is.
Well, and that's where you bounce it back onto the accountability onto the other person. Like that is kind of his that's on him.
It's a him
He's the one missing out in that relationship and in that
problem.
time, quality time with you. You
Yeah.
know, it's him missing that and him missing out. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, that's the thing is like if you bounce it back to the other person, they didn't meet your expectation, you bounce it back to them, you're like, okay, well, that's on them. you know that's
Yeah.
not my problem anymore. I'm not going to try to control it. I'm going to have to come at this with some grace and some forgiveness and let it go, because if I don't, then I'm going to be held hostage to the feelings of it. you
Yeah.
know and that's where we get in the rut. We put all these expectations on other people, they don't meet them, and then we're always in a bad mood, we're always upset, we're depressed. Well, at some point the accountability has to go back on you,
Yeah.
because you're allowing another person to control your emotions and how you feel. And it's okay to feel upset and sad about it for a minute, you know, but if you keep yourself there and you stay there, you live there,
Yeah.
you're right. You're not going to be going forward and progressing well in positivity in your life. You're just going to, if you're constantly playing the blame game, like my life isn't going well because of you.
Right.
No, that's not correct. Your life isn't going well because of yourself.
Right.
We all can make a mindset change. We all can make a decision to let it go and to move forward. And if we don't, that's where the danger comes in. That's
Yeah.
when, if self accountability is huge in those unmet expectations. That unmet expectation can spiral and snowball, and the next thing you know, you're in a bad mood, you're treating other people bad. I mean, and then you're not meeting somebody else's expectation. You know what I'm saying? I used to, and I'm just going to share this about me. um I didn't like Christmas for a long time, and it was because I always knew in my household that two people in my household were not going to be happy at Christmas. And so that carried on for me for a long time, actually. I was like, and it took me a while to understand that I was carrying that on. That was their issue, never mine,
Right.
and I carried it on because it was almost like a family tradition, right?
Right.
like,
Well,
oh, Christmas is family tradition that we hate it, you know, and we're upset at family, and and it's a bigger subject matter, which is in patterns and cycles, and you pick people that are similar to the pattern you grew up in, the dysfunction, you're comfortable in the dysfunction, so you choose people to be in your life to continue the pattern of dysfunction. So
hmm
that's what I did. And I remember the day that I said, I am not going to let this Christmas go by and it not be about what it's supposed to be about, which is about Christ. And it's supposed to be a joyful time. And I have to remember why Christmas is Christmas.
Right.
Like I had to make a mindset change and shift, because if I didn't shift, I was always going to have a bad Christmas after that. So
Yeah.
my expectation was on myself. My expectation was like, I'm going to have a terrible Christmas. Just going to happen. And, us missing people like you're talking about, you know, yes, I missed that person, but she was the one that always she hated Christmas. So,
Oh, see,
you
mine.
know,
It was her
y-
favorite.
yeah, see, and mine wasn't. So, I've had to change what I
And
think about it,
right.
and what I do around it and what I feel like it's about, you know. And I don't push what I feel like it's about on other people. And me as the mother, I now have healthily not put that on my kids. I have healthily not said, you must think of Christmas like this, and this is what we have to do, and this is the tradition, and this is what we eat, this is what we do. These are the songs we play. I haven't done that. I haven't put an expectation on what it's supposed to be for them. I'm
Yeah.
going to let them make their own life and their own memories of what they want it to be for them, you know? And that's the difference is, we also can push our expectations of what we think onto other people, and that's just not healthy. It's not good. And so now, this Christmas I kind of gotten a little ho hum for a minute, and it's okay. Like I'm saying, it's okay to be like that. You know, it's okay for us to, um, you know, no, I'm not. I was talking about my mom, but, but, but I understand, Kim. So anyway, that's the thing is like, if you start pushing all of that and people aren't meeting the expectations, then it becomes just a big, huge, not happy and not fun for anybody, that's the sad part. I just feel like we have done that. The Hallmark Christmas movies really kill us too, right? Like, and I'm talking about Christmas again because some of us didn't have a good Christmas. Some of us didn't come out going, "Yay, the new year's here." Some of us came out and we're like, that I got through that damage, like I got through it. It makes it so difficult. Yeah, it does, Kim. You feel like you just did damage control, right? Like you were just constantly doing damage control versus having a good time or, whatever. And like I said, even the Hallmark Christmas movies has set us up for an expectation. Like, where the heck is my bachelor with the castle? I mean, how come he didn't show up?
Mine did, so I'm
Well,
not.
yours did, but I don't have one. Where's my castle bachelor dude? Castle for Christmas. Where is it? I'm just
I
saying.
got a ring for Thanksgiving.
Well, lucky you. I'm happy for you. So, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. The movies do set you up for like it's just not it's not reality.
Yeah. She's
And
glad it's over. And see, that is sad because it should be like a happy time, right? Yeah. Where's my Red Ryder BB gun? Well, fine, Matt. Go stick your tongue on the pole. That's all I got to say.
that's what he said.
Yeah. But anyway, I mean, it does. It sets you up for this whole thing. Like, Christmas is magical and it's supposed to be these things and, Christmas carols and, it can be. It can
Well,
be.
I think it used to be, but let's go back to the beginning of our conversation. Everyone's become so selfish.
Yeah.
It's no longer like that.
No. No. And because and honestly, I know, like I was just telling you, I'm letting my kids decide what their traditions and everything is going to be.
Right.
So it is going to change. Like, their generation has already changed on how they deal with things, and how they think about the holidays,
Yeah.
and that's just going to evolve, and that's going to be the truth. And so we can't expect them to stay in our generation and in our tradition. We have to let them have their own. We really do. We really
Yep.
do need to, we can remind them of what it was like and what we did. And, we can talk about it and whatever. I even mentioned going to midnight mass. Now, I haven't been a Catholic in years, but I mentioned going to midnight mass because I remembered it being so nice, like,
Here's the thing. In my situation, this is the first year, or maybe not the first year, but I think it's the first year. But my kids now have their own church. So some of us went to my church like we've always done, but then one of them and her husband went to their church. So
Mhm.
that's their new tradition,
Mhm.
So that's changing. So it definitely is, it does evolve.
Right. And you might next year want to go with them, I mean, or go to both. I mean, here's the thing. Let's be flexible.
Yeah.
Let's be
Well, that was the
flexible with
plan.
it.
They were at the same time. But the point is you can't, if you're going to be upset about everything that changes, you're just going to have a miserable life.
Right. Just like in the beginning, you were talking about the lady videotaping that lady didn't meet her expectation of moving fast enough.
Yep.
She didn't meet it. And that lady had to, thought she was taking it in her own hands. So, but that's the thing. Us as we go, I mean, you would think at our ages that we would be mature in this area. But I think that we're learning all the time still. And once you think that you've hit a place where you know everything and you've evolved, you're wrong.
Yeah. Well, and I think
you're wrong.
I even find myself starting to get frustrated, and then I have to remind myself, like, it's not a big deal. Like, because
I all need a little Festivus.
Yeah.
Day of grievance.
Okay, Kim has a question. What's Kim's
okay? Question? Yeah. What's the question, Kim?
How do you get past the guilt of not meeting the expectation? Grace.
You have to be as graceful to yourself as you would be to another person that didn't meet your expectation. Yeah. You have to do that.
And then you have to, I think you have to unpack why you didn't. Is it a boundary issue? Is it something that you need to work on within yourself to make the changes, or like what's the reason behind it?
Yeah,
a little bit. But in the meantime, you have to have grace for yourself.
But is it because you didn't meet the expectation because the expectation was too big? I mean, if it was too big and you couldn't have met it anyway, I mean, that you shouldn't have guilt about it. If that's what I'm saying. I do know that's why I'm saying what I'm saying is maybe the expectation is too big, and maybe you give yourself grace. Maybe the other person who had the expectation needs to give you grace. You need to give yourself the grace. That's what I mean.
I mean, the world would be a different place if we would all just have grace. Hey, that rhymes.
That's right.
I'm a poet.
That's right. That's right. And I do know what she's talking about. And if she recalls, during that time, I said, I love you, because I had an expectation and it wasn't met. And I dropped it. I was like, there are no expectations, again, that's why I'm talking about this, is because, if you don't let people off the hook, and if you don't let yourself off the hook, you are just always going to be wretched with should-haves, like you were talking about, shoulds.
There's no should,
and what ifs and all of those things. So you can't live there. That's not a healthy place to live.
The healthy place to live is in your own lane. Just stay there. Don't, the other stuff can just go away.
Right. If people know your heart, like Kim, I just want you to know, I know your heart. You have the biggest, most wonderful heart. So if you didn't meet somebody's expectation, I know it wasn't because you did it on purpose. I know it was because it just couldn't be done, maybe. So,
and sometimes times we're not capable. Doesn't mean next year you couldn't meet the same expectation, but today we're just not capable.
Yeah.
Girl, I stay in my lane. It is happy. I am happy here. There's no drama. I will right here.
Happy in your own lane. Yeah. I've been in my own lane for a bit, I've not tried to, let's see. Here we go, Matt. I like to get to versus have to. I get
versus have to. Yeah.
I get to go to work. Right. That's nice. I do like that. I get to go to work, not I have to go to work.
Yeah, because right now
that's a great attitude.
Right now I don't have to go to work.
Amen. Yep.
So it's a good, that's a simple change that also changes your mindset. I get to go to work instead of I have to.
Yes. I had to, we all go through this stuff. Okay. I'm acting like, oh, we got it all figured out. Hey, I have a bad day and I'm like, I don't like my job. I don't like this. I don't like that. And then I have to go, snap out of it, girl. I have to tell myself the only person that's going to cheerlead me is me. And I have to cheerlead myself to get out of it. I can't call up Heather and go, Heather, I hate my life. It's terrible. And what is she going to do for me?
You know what I would say. So how are you going to change it?
So what are you going to do? Right. What are you going to do different? Like they say, your life, if your life stays the same, it's because you haven't changed anything.
Your life is what you make it.
Your life is on you. You are the controller of it. Now, I believe in a higher power. I believe in God helps you to get through it and to guide you. but you still have to ask him about it. You are having to make an effort to do something. You have to do something. Nobody else is going to force you, push you, kick you, not unless you ask them.
Right. I'll kick you if you need me to.
Ask them, and then you get an accountability person. My forced me to take all my vacation. Oh no, that's horrible.
If anyone needs an accountability coach.
But that's what I'm saying. Some of us, just even recognizing that you need an accountability person is a huge step towards self-development, to making your life better. I know that nobody's going to kick me unless I ask them. Some people have kicked me before when I didn't ask them, and guess what? I was probably mad at them at the time. so if they don't ask, don't do it. Just saying.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
I know you'll kick me. She kicked me before. She kicked me, but I was open to her kicking me, and the reason is I trusted her. There's another piece to this, is trust.
Yeah,
you have to trust the people in your life that you're going to listen to. First of all, if you're not willing to hear, if you're not willing to take advice from somebody, you certainly can't take a criticism. That's a quote. Yeah. If you can't look at somebody and go, I'm not, I don't want their advice, then do not let them criticize you like that. Yeah. That's just a no-go, but a lot of times for me personally, I'm my worst critic. I'm the self-sabotager. I'm the, all of that, and that's the other thing. I've had to come, and trust is important. I've had to start to finally trust my own decisions. I think I would, Heather, when I was there in Kansas, I was telling you all, I don't trust my decisions right now. I don't trust myself. I don't trust what I'm going to do. So are safe words. Yes. But I don't trust, I didn't even trust my own decisions at the time. How could I trust somebody else if I'm not even trusting myself?
Well, and I was in the same space when you were here too. I was like, I don't really trust my own decisions. But the great part is that now it's like, I trust my own decisions so much that when all this recent stuff was happening and people were like, what are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. I trusted so much in my own decisions that I knew it was the right thing. So there was no question. But if you don't, then you don't know. You question what you're doing. You're like, okay, are they right? Are they this? Are they that? And then you get yourself in a really weird place.
I mean, I think it's good to have that support system, that inner group that you can trust.
Yep.
And that you can listen to, that will give you constructive criticism. I believe in constructive criticism. If somebody sees me doing something wrong, I do want them to go, Sandy, that's not like you. What's going on there?
And I think you were talking about trusting people. When I first met Jim, I had people come to town. I had my best friend come to town and spend a weekend. I took him back home because I kept thinking, like, I feel like this is right, but like, let me have the outside eyes that I trust, make sure I'm not missing red flags or I'm not missing things, there was none, thank God. But again, you have to have people that you can trust to do things like that for you.
That's right.
So that when they say yes or no, like if someone said, I do see a red flag, I had to trust them enough to go, okay, well, let me look at that.
Like what
doesn't do me good if they tell you and you go, oh yeah, I know, but I know better than you do. Then why did you ask?
Right.
Like you have to have those people, I call it my tribe. Without my tribe, like I don't know. I wouldn't be where I'm at. So I think it's important that you have those people around you.
And I agree with what Kim says. I think when I was in Kansas, that's where I was at. I was tired. I was tired of making decisions. I was I had went through the mill. Sometimes we have to take a time out.
Yeah.
And it's okay. It's okay to not even make a decision at that time. That's why it's that HALT theory: hungry, angry, lonely, tired. If you're tired, don't make the decision because you're not going to make the right one anyway.
And if a decision has to be made, that's where you call on that tribe, the people you trust, and say, hey, I can't make this decision right now. What should I do? I trust you.
Right. And it is important to get those accountability people and those people in line with yourself. The best investment I ever made was when I got a life coach. And she helped me through the transition before I moved to Kansas.
Yeah.
She was helping me kind of through that transition. And there was such a benefit to that because I trusted her advice. And she had been where I had been. I'd picked a life coach that I knew had been where I'd been. And so that's how I found her. I was reading a book of hers and I was like, she's got to work with me. I have to have her as my coach because she's been through what I've been through almost identically. So, I really needed to find that, and so I think it's important, invest in yourself, invest in yourself with that, get in it. If you pay someone to be accountable versus just your friend who's accountable, there is a difference to
Yep,
it.
there is.
There is a difference.
And I think it's funny that you said that because my life coach has been nowhere that I've been. We're completely opposite, polar opposite. He's male, he's young, he's like, but he was such a different perspective that he was able to allow me to make huge changes. I think he was actually watching earlier. I don't know if he's still on here, but James, if you're on here, I love you. But I think it's just having that person that you trust, that has your best interest, that that can guide you in the direction you need to be.
Yeah.
Life coach all the way.
Yeah. I mean, whoever fits for you, like I said, at the time, I needed a woman who had been where I'd been. I needed somebody that could speak my language at the time, and so she was a big help for me. Thank you, Fab. Her name is Fab. Isn't that a great name? Her name is Fab, like really.
Fabulous.
So she's Fab. She's fabulicious. That's what she is. She's in California. So she wasn't even near me. I didn't know her. She wasn't in my support group. She did a different modality of coaching. Everything was different about her, except for our story was the same. And so,
no, Matt, they can't because they're going to have to pay me. Get your own show.
Yes, they can pay you.
Yes, they can pay you.
Of course, they can pay you. Yeah, an accountability coach. They're paid all the time. Hello. It's all called a psychiatrist, a psychologist, a life coach, accountability people. Your trainer. You pay your trainer to be accountable, right?
Exactly. I think it's crazy that people don't. Yeah, doesn't register.
You need like I'm going. It's the first of the year. I'm like, oh, I got to get a trainer again. You need to get in on that, huh?
Make it happen, man. Make it happen. Okay, so we're down to 2 minutes. It's my anniversary. We're going to dinner after this. Let's wrap it up.
Listen to her. Wow.
I see flowers on the counter.
What? Listen, an anniversary. What?
Monthly anniversary.
Oh my goodness. They're cheesy. Ew. They're in the ew stage. Ew.
We are the couple that I used to make fun of. I say it all the time. I can't help it.
Look at that. She got flagged for saying that she would cook me.
Oh, yeah, you can't promote.
Are you going to kick me? You need to kick me. Yeah, you need to get in on that. Is that an alien or a lizard? I can't tell. Or a money. It's a money lizard. It's a money lizard. I don't know. Anyway, Matt. Well, okay. What time is it? We got 2 minutes.
I know, but you gotta promote your stuff, man.
He's rushing us, man. Okay, cheers, everybody. Thank you guys for interacting tonight. I hope this discussion helped you work through anything, everything. If you watch this later, hit #replay and where you joined us from. #replay. And if you guys would share it for us, we would be so indebted to you and we would be so thankful because we really need to grow our audience and we really would appreciate it. If this helped you, share it out. Okay. Thanks, Matt, for joining us. Thank you, Kim. Thank you, Teresa. I think you're probably on here. So I appreciate and whoever else was on here. I can tell they were on here. I don't know who they were, but thank you.
We got James Love. We got Lester. We got Duke Young.
Yay. Hello. Hi. So, all right. Thank y'all and happy anniversary. 1 month, really, whatever.
1
6
month.
months.
I said, yeah, it's more than one. It's more than one. Anyway, where can we find you other than this show?
Where can they find me? I'm all over the socials. I'm on Sandy Archer Spiritual Health Facebook page, Sandy Archer Spiritual Health Instagram, Sandy Archer Spiritual Health.com, and sandyarcherconsulting.com, Sandy Archer Consulting
Just saying.
Facebook page, Sandy Archer Consulting Instagram, and YouTube. Oh my, I've got it all. And LinkedIn. Boy, I sounded like an advertisement.
Okay, well, I'm on LinkedIn, Heather Dawn Coaching. I am on Instagram, Heather Dawn Coaching. I'm on Facebook, The Motivational Mentor. And I am on Anchor and Spotify, The Motivational Mentor podcast. So check it out.
All right. We will check it out. She's got a podcast. Oh, I have a podcast too, but we won't talk about that. Anyway. All right. Okay. You guys, thank you. We will see you next week. Who knows what we're going to talk about? We always talk about really interesting stuff. So please join us. And if you ever want to be a guest, please reach out. We would love to have you on the show. All right. Take care. Take care, everybody. And peace out.